I'm pretty sure I've made this mistake before, but they just have karaoke on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, not on Sunday. Very few people there. The only one I even found somewhat attractive was a thick black girl, and she walked out right after me and got into her vehicle by herself. So I had a quick chat with the bartender. Said, "Oh, we have live bands on Sunday," and I looked over at the empty stage and I'm like, "Where?" And because it could have been pretty cool if I'd walk in there and there was a band playing, but I was like, "Oh, they're at blah blah blah, like mid-afternoon, like they're done by 6." I'm like, no, that's not exactly Sunday night. And he said karaoke is at the only place I could think of close by that has karaoke is probably Ain't Nick's. And I'm sure Ain't Nick's has got karaoke tonight. I think they do it 7 nights a week. And I got a feeling I might end up at Ain't Nick's. But she also suggested the Starlight. And it's been a long time since I've gone to the Starlight. And now that I'm thinking about the Starlight, I distinctly remember the last time I tried to go to the Starlight. I think it was just like this. I went there and there was no karaoke, so I started going north on 43rd, just like I'm doing right now. Didn't want to go to Ain't Nick's. Didn't want to go to Bullocks. There's Glendale. Ain't Nick's would be to the right 2 miles. So I decided to go to Starlight, which is what she suggested, which is 2 miles to the north. And that's when I got out of my car and my iPhone 7 that I had just spent like $90 having rebuilt, put a new camera in it, put a new screen on it, it was working great. And flew out of my hands, hit the ground, and just destroyed the shit out of it. Like, it still worked for a couple days after that. So I don't know if that has any connection to the problem that it has now that makes it not work. But I still smashed the shit out of the screen. I would imagine it has something to do with it. It might be that I unseated a cable, because when I picked it up, it was kind of, the both halves were kind of hanging together. Together, I pressed them back together. I was not happy that I fucked up my iPhone like that. And then my iPhone 7 Plus, not to be confused with my 6S Plus, it's shooting video right now, presumably just fine. On the selfie camera, because the main camera don't work anymore. I don't remember what day of the week it was, though. Might have been a Sunday, but I don't know for sure. I just remember that day I went in, I was hoping there would be karaoke, and Skipper's where I just went, there wasn't, and all the stuff I just described. Smashed the phone, and then realized that Starlight Lounge was closed. And I went 1 more mile to the north and ended up going to a bar next to Great Skate that I can never remember the name of, where the KJ that always wears the kind of feminine hat and super scrawny works. I forget his name. He's a really cool guy. I've known him for a long time. I met him right at the beginning of 2021. Okay, there's Dunlap to the right, Olive to the left. Turn left here where Pep Boys used to be. This is one very dead-looking strip mall, although apparently there's no O'Reilly Auto Parts in here. I'm seeing lights ahead for the Starlight Lounge, but I don't know. I'm seeing a few cars. Hard to tell if the place is open or not. I'm seeing a sign flashing letters that say open, but the time I came here when they were closed and I fucked up my iPhone 7 Plus, it was like that as well. So that doesn't really mean much. In a world where people can't be bothered to double check whether or not the open sign with a light in it is turned on or turned off, the sign doesn't mean anything. Well, there was a friendly little group of people there, but no karaoke. and no single women that looked eager to have me sit next to her. So there's a kind of really old biker looking chick at one end of the bar that looked like she might be interested in that, but yeah, I'm not particularly interested in that. So there was an old dude with super long gray hair at the bar that was like, oh yeah, karaoke Tuesdays and Wednesdays. I'm like, yeah, I have a car, not a time machine. But it's good to know they have karaoke there on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. I have no idea who's hosting their karaoke. I didn't even ask. I do remember an old friend of mine was hosting karaoke, and that's why I was coming here for a while. In fact, it's suddenly bringing all kinds of memories back of meeting a woman here that had a fancy convertible and going on a ride with her that absolutely terrified me and gave me one of the worst panic attacks that I've had in recent memory. God, I think that was even after I'd already started my vlog. Couldn't tell you what vlog number it is, but I'm sure I vlogged about it. Yeah, that was horrifying. Obviously, I did not stay in touch with her after that. I'm trying to remember the name of my friend that used to host here. This guy always wears a cowboy hat. He used to host for karaoke now, but I think at this time he was running his own system. Ron! That's his name, Ron. I've lost touch with Ron again. But we were talking quite a bit there for a while. But yeah, they fired him from here. I have no idea why. And I don't know that I've really talked to him after that, other than a couple of random text messages. Obviously, they replaced him. Other bar that I was thinking of is right here on the right. I'm trying to think of the name of the guy who hosts there. I didn't have much fun the last time I came here, and that's where I ended up going after I destroyed my phone, my iPhone 7 Plus. Didn't really have a great time. I mean, I sang some songs, and the host that I know was there, whose name I can't remember right now. It's an odd name, too. Usually I'm better at remembering odd names. But yeah, I didn't have that much fun when I was there last time, so I'm not too eager to go back now. The bartender at Starlight Lounge suggests I go to a place called Bull Shooters, which I've never heard before, which is like 35th and Peoria. I said, well, where exactly at 35th and Peoria? And the old guy who thought I had some way to transport myself to Tuesday or Wednesday said the southeast corner, and I said, oh, so over by where the laser tag place is. And apparently the laser tag place has been closed for a long time. It's been a long time since I've lived in this part of town. When I was the manager of the subway at 59th in Peoria, my whole crew and I used to, once a week, go over to the laser tag here. Of course, that was in the mid-1990s. But the bartender remembered it. She's like, oh, it's right where the laser tag place used to be. I think it replaced that. And I'm like, oh. I said, well, I haven't been in this part of town in a long time. Well, it's not that I haven't been. I think I hadn't lived in this part of town in a long time. So I haven't been here in that long. But it's been a while. I try to avoid this part of town. Certainly didn't want to get wrapped up in having to come up all the way this direction in the daytime for anger management bullshit. This is fentanyl junkie central out here now. But yeah, as a child in the 80s, this was a very big part of my world, this intersection of 35th and Peoria. So I'm gonna check this place out. I don't know that I'm ever gonna make it back there for karaoke on Tuesdays or Wednesdays at Starlight, but it's something to consider. I'm really curious who hosts there. When I inquired about hosting there after Ron got fired, I was told that I needed to contact the manager via Facebook. I'm like, well, is there another way to contact them not on Facebook? So I don't do Facebook. And pretty much as soon as I said I don't do Facebook, I got that look of like, well, then we don't want you for karaoke. So that's fine. Sorry. I'm just not that interested in doing anything that requires me to give up that much of my soul to Mark Zuckerberg. It's clearly my soul is already owned by Alphabet. Hello. So 12:23 on the Saturn clock, which means it's 12. Well, they said the temperature 53 degrees. That would make it 12:28.